Hey, this is Off the Cuff, and I'm Steve from TorahFamily.org. Today we want to talk about self-proclaimed watchmen, the self-proclaimed watchmen on the wall. Those who want to share their concerns of what they see possibly coming down the road. Now, to kick this off, though, I want to use a verse to start us off that may not be what you think would start us off. So let's go to Micah. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. It says, "He has showed you, O man, what is good. And what does Yahweh require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." We need to walk humbly before Yahweh, meaning not in pride, meaning don't think you have all the answers, meaning don't think you are the one that can tell everybody how everything's going to happen. Now, granted, you may have some things right, okay, but you don't have everything right. You've heard me say this before, and I'm going to say it again. Everybody is right on something. Everybody is wrong on something. We're all working this thing through. We need to learn to come together and figure out how we can work together and gel these ideas that we have, these thoughts of how things can work and play out together. It's important. It's important that we walk humbly before Yahweh. There's a reason, because, I'm sorry. We don't all have the answers. There's going to come a time when things will kick in gear, and what you may have thought won't happen. And then what this person thought may not happen. But had we come together beforehand thinking, well, maybe this is possible, maybe that's possible. And you don't have to believe in what they say right away, but at least be open and honest to listen to what they say and go, maybe I need to consider that. Keep it on the back burner, if you will. That way, if things do happen, we've got something in the back of our mind going, you know what, I remember so-and-so saying something like this. And then so-and-so over here said something about that. And then we can all gel together, maybe at the last minute, okay? Something to keep in mind. Now, I've covered some things like this before in a daily devotion. So let's go to Hosea. Hosea chapter 9. Hosea 9 says, "The days of punishment are coming. The days of reckoning are at hand. Let Israel know this. Because your sins are so many and your hostility so great, the prophet is considered a fool, the inspired man a maniac." Now, though we know that this was speaking to the northern kingdom of Israel before their banishment into Syria, okay, we know that. But we also know that history is cyclical and that judgment is coming again someday to those who rebel. Now, exactly when, we don't know. Exactly how it's all going to play out, we don't know. But we know history is cyclical and that judgment is coming again. Now, knowing this, I can't help but ponder the thought, if a prophet was to proclaim something to happen today, would anybody listen? Who would listen? Would there be anybody at all who would listen to that prophet? Or would we consider him a fool? Or would we consider him a maniac? Now look at all the prophets of old. Okay, I think of Ezekiel. Ezekiel prophesied, the 370 years, and people were probably saying in his day, oh yeah, right, whatever Ezekiel, 370 years, yeah, sure, okay. And then those years came and went. Nothing happened. So those who are reading the words of Ezekiel was probably saying, well, I guess he was just a false prophet, okay? Not realizing that Torah, okay, was saying you're supposed to multiply that by 7, by the way, people, okay? Which, of course, leads us to 2009, which was when Torah was starting to grow like something leaps and bounds. I would say if you would take a survey of people who are following Torah today, I would venture to say 90, if not even 95% of those who are following Torah today started following Torah sometime after the year of 2009, okay, which ties in line with Ezekiel's prophecy. Now, but not just Ezekiel. Look at Isaiah. Isaiah 24. Man, he predicts this huge earthquake. Global even, all right? And people are probably saying, yeah, right, whatever, Isaiah, where's this earthquake? Okay, where's it at? So even the contemporaries of their day, the people who lived in their time, they could have scoffed at them and go, yeah, right, whatever. So those who lived in the prophet's day, we don't know exactly what was said, but we do know Yeshua said, blessed are you when you're persecuted, this, that, and the other, because why? That's how they treated the prophets, okay? And the prophets were proclaiming truth, okay, proclaiming the Torah, saying, hey, come back or judgment's coming. Now, what I'm saying in all of this is that we need to be cautious in how we talk down these people who are going out there and showing us their concerns. They're saying, oh, this could happen here and this can happen there. We need to be mindful that we don't just cut them down, okay? They're giving us their concerns, okay? Now, have they been wrong many times? Yeah, of course. But I think of this. I think of like a weatherman. How many times do we go on the news every night or quite often to say, what's the weather going to be like for tomorrow? And then all of a sudden they say, oh, it's going to be a great day. Oh, great. The prophet is saying it's going to be a great day tomorrow. Okay, and then what do we do? Goes up, great day. Everyone's happy, go lucky. Then what happens if they say a storm is coming? Well, they're saying a storm's coming. And then maybe the storm doesn't happen. Okay, what do we say? They don't know what they're talking about. See, whenever it doesn't go how they say, how quick we are to judge them, all right? Now, I remember one time, true story, that we lived near St. Louis area, and, the storms were coming. And they were saying, storms are coming your way, this, that, and the other. And we watched, and we could see some things happening. And then it blew over, okay? Well, next day, same thing. And they're saying it's going to come again. They were kind of going, okay, well, I don't know. But this time, it did come. And the storm started picking up. And we went to the basement. And, it came really quick. It came really faster than we anticipated. And next thing you know, we're hearing the damage take place. And until you go through something like that and you hear those sounds and you hear things being torn and ripped apart, there's no way to explain it. You just have to experience it. Point here is we heard it. Okay, storm blew over. Then we go out and we see the damage. Thankfully our house didn't get torn up so much, but man, the tree house that we had built in the backyard, it was demolished. And half the tree was gone and this other stuff was gone. So, but my point in case here is this, that first time when we heard it, went, didn't think anything of it. And then the next day, when it did come, it came. So the point is, we need to be mindful of these people who are sharing their concerns. Because one day, they may be right, okay? And we need to be mindful. And, don't look down on them. Don't get mad at them if they make a mistake. Because they're doing their best and looking and seeing things. Hey guys, I'm seeing something. This is kind of making sense. And if it doesn't happen, great. And you can even look at it and say, well, okay, maybe, but I don't agree with you. Okay, that's cool too. You don't have to agree, but keep it in the back of your mind and think they could be right. They may be wrong, and they most possibly will be wrong. But let's not look down on them because they've got a heart to want to do what's right for God's people. Okay, how many people want to say, "Hey, this is coming," and then knowing that it may not? Okay, now that being said, if someone says, "Thus saith the Lord," well, just, smile and nod and, take a couple steps back and walk your way. Now, take to heart what they say. Okay, they did say, "Thus saith the Lord." And then if it doesn't happen, well, then you know. Okay, let's just keep them at an arm's distance from that moment forward. Okay, now, but if they're not saying, "Thus saith the Lord," and they're simply saying, "Look, guys, I'm seeing something that's making a lot of sense," then let's give them some concern here and say, look, okay, I'll look at it, but it doesn't mean I have to believe you, okay? So again, if someone says, "Thus saith the Lord," we know, okay, just back off and be listening, and you can be prepared, keep what they say at an arm's distance. Then if it doesn't happen, we know, okay? Now, that being said, we know that, that there's a warning that goes out to the people who prophesy falsely. And that's why you need to use really caution. Don't say thus saith the Lord unless unless you hear Yahweh's voice. With your ears. You can say, I feel it in my heart. Well, we've all sensed things in our heart before. And we've all, been wrong before on those kind of things. And that's okay. But, don't say thus saith the Lord unless you have heard. Now, if you hear, you better do, okay? Now, but my point here is that there's just as much warning for the watchman on the wall that if they don't say something and they're supposed to, there's a concern. There's a warning out to them, okay? It's found in Ezekiel, okay? It's Ezekiel 33. Now, to be fair, this warning goes out to watchmen that were chosen by the people. Okay, so now you can read the text there. It's all in Ezekiel 33 there. And the thing is, it speaks to those people who are chosen by the people in the text. So to me, this verse really can't be applied to today. Now, I may be wrong in saying this, and you can disagree with me, that's fine. But, there are people out there that are proclaiming things. And, but they're not chosen by us, okay? They're not chosen by me to be my watchman. Now, if I had someone chosen, I watched, and then they started saying something and I disregarded what they said, even though I chose them to be my watchman, judgment's going to come on me, okay? As the text says. Now, this being said, I do believe that there are a lot of believers who are seeing things and learning how to fit the puzzle together. Now I'm not just talking about seeing things in the end times. I'm talking about seeing things in the scriptures. They're learning and growing. And they're seeing, it didn't happen. And this isn't. But and then they're looking back at the scriptures and they're digging and they're struggling and trying to fight with the scriptures, if you will, and trying to match it all together. One day, they're going to be right. Okay, and I don't want to be someone who's scoffing at them because, they thought they saw something before as a watchman on the wall, and, maybe it was a mirage, okay? Or maybe it was something that was similar, okay, but it just wasn't the right timing. Who knows, all right? Point being is this. We need to use caution in cutting these people down, okay? Because they're wanting to do what's right. They have a heart to warn people, okay? They do. I know for me, when I've seen things, I'm going, man, this is making sense, okay, and this whatever. Don't cut these people down, please. Look at the scriptures. Listen to what they say. Here's the thing. I remember back in the fall of 2015, so many people were saying, "Oh, it's gonna be trumpets here," and next thing you know, people are saying, "Well, it's gonna be the Day of Atonement," and then this other group over here was saying, "Well, it's gonna be the first day of Sukkot," and here's the thing. I remember when that was happening because I was taking tons of notes down on my own stuff of stuff I was studying for that same time frame. And everything that they were saying, it wasn't gelling with me. 95 to, if not more % of what they were saying, I'm going, I see what you're saying, but I don't agree. Okay, the timing that I was seeing gelled with some thoughts that I was looking at, but everything they said just didn't rhyme with me. And that was the same time that I brought out our cut short thing with some friends who had contacted me. And still to this day, it's like I'm going, wow, this is still being plausible to be played out. And this, that, and the other. Still getting lots of contacts on that. But the point is this. Even though, they were wrong, okay, those that I had heard anyway never said thus saith the Lord, which I'm thankful. I never heard that. Now, if they did, be mindful of that. But the thing is, we're all learning, we're all growing, and we're all trying to figure things out. Here's my concern. Yeshua said the elect would be deceived if that were possible. Now, I go over this in a lot of detail in our teaching, the Church of Philadelphia. So if you haven't seen that, please take the time. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a very interesting teaching, interesting concept, and I think it has a lot of validity to it. Now that being said, in that teaching, Yeshua said the very elect would be deceived. Now, to me, this tells me something. This tells me that things may not play out as we think. Because think of it, if things played out exactly how we all think is very possible going to happen, well, then the elect won't be deceived, because they'll say, well, okay, well, this will happen and then that can happen. Okay, now in the teaching, I show how the elect can't be deceived. Okay. But my point is this, is that the very elect could be deceived. He said the very elect could be deceived if that were possible. So it's saying if that were possible. That lets us know things are not going to be playing out the way we think. Now, it may end out the same way we know how he returns, but how it all starts and kicks off, I'm starting to think, I think we've all need to be revamping some things here, because the very elect could be deceived when it all starts kicking in gear, folks, because if they couldn't be deceived, okay, then here's the thing. Let's say things start into play. Well, then the elect would say what? Okay, well, this is going to happen. Here we are in this time frame, and then that means this is going to happen next. And then after this, and then this is going to happen. Then after that, then this is going to happen. Because why? They've got it all planned out. They've got to know. They figured it out, right? But what if things don't happen the way we think? Then it's all in the air then. Okay, because now they're going to be saying, wait a second, this isn't happening. This shouldn't be happening here. So the very elect would be thinking, well, wait a second. If this is happening, well, then where are we fitting in my time frame that I got here? Everything's gone awry, if you will. So this is something we have to be mindful of. The very elect would be deceived if that were possible. Now, not long ago, my son, we're all in the living room. I guess we're watching TV. I can't remember what we were doing. I don't watch TV. We don't have TV, but we're probably watching a movie on our television. And out of the clear, my son, well, okay, being real here, folks, he passes gas, okay, and it wasn't small, okay, and so we all of my whole family, we just looked down at Levi, and he just said, "Whoa, I am so sorry. I did not see that coming." Okay, now, at that moment, when he said that, we just all busted out laughing. How can you not laugh at something like that? Oh, anyway, sorry. A little overshare. Sorry about that. But the point in case is this. He didn't see it coming, okay? There's going to come a time when things may start and we may not see it coming. It may come completely different from how we think it's going to happen. Okay, so we need to be mindful. We need to be open to this, especially when Yeshua said the very elect could be deceived if that were possible. Okay, that means things are going to be different. Otherwise, we could plan it out and chart our course for the rest of the time, right? So things could be a lot different. So we need to be mindful of that. Now, one day, someone is going to come forward and say something like, okay, guys, I'm seeing something a little different here. We need to be open to this. And I think this is possible. I think that's possible. And they start, declaring these things as a watchman. Okay, they're trying to be accountable to what they feel Yahweh has given them. Okay, right or wrong. Okay, it doesn't matter. They're doing what they feel that they need to be doing. All right. Now, and in that time, it's like you can almost see what's going to happen. Here goes, all the people are going to start saying, oh, here we go again. These people, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll probably even say, you guys don't know what you're saying. You're just like the weatherman, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then they'll even say, you guys, you think you're prophets. You think you understand all this prophecy. Prophecy is just a distraction. You don't understand it. Folks, prophecy is not a distraction. Okay, I've had several people contact me on that saying, do you think prophecy is a distraction? Folks, okay, prophecy is not a distraction. I mean, folks, Revelation 19:10, okay, it tells us, okay, for the testimony of Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, his testimony, everything about him is prophetic. Okay, everything about him. He was foretold by prophecy when he was going to come, and he is foretold in prophecy how he's going to come again, okay? So the very testimony that he holds to is prophecy. So we cannot think it's a distraction. It's a waste of time. It's not. This is what should drive us to a holy life, to want to please our Heavenly Father, to be ready when He comes. All right? Now, moving on. Okay. Prophecy in itself is set. It's solid. It's solidified. It is set in stone, if you will. Now, that being said, it's our understanding of prophecy that is progressive. And what I mean is this. 25, 30 years ago, I think we could all venture to say that the majority of us, at that time, 30 years ago, the huge majority, the vast majority of believers was believing in a 7-year tribulation with a pre-tribulation rapture. And then whenever the rapture goes, the tribulation will then begin. After the tribulation, you first will have the first 6 seals. After those 6 seals, you will then have the 7 trumpets. After the 7 trumpets, you will have the 7 bowls. And then we all had it all lined out perfectly, didn't we? 30 years ago, this is what's going to happen and that's going to happen. We could tell you everything about it, okay? At least the prophecy students could, all right? But now look at all of us today. The huge majority of us say, well, I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe that anymore either. And wow, I really don't believe that. So what? Did prophecy change? Or did our understanding of prophecy change? Our understanding. We've grown. We've learned. He's taught us more. We've humbled ourselves. We've had to, okay? And He has shown us more and more. And as that time gets even closer, the same principle applies. He's going to keep showing us more and more, a little here, a little there. Next thing you know, it's going to like, whoa. It's just going to change completely for us. Now, that being said, it wasn't too long ago I did one of our daily devotions, and I covered this in the book of Luke. Luke 24:45. It says, "Then He opened their minds so they could understand the Scriptures." Yeshua said this to His disciples just after He appeared to them after His resurrection. Now, to get the context here, let's go ahead and read a little bit more here. The verse before, Luke 24:44. It says, "He said to them, 'This is what I told you while I was still with you. Everything must be fulfilled that is written about me in the law of Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms.'" So what's this tell us? Okay, these verses that we're looking at here, we see that it's obvious that Yeshua told them all that was going to happen, but they didn't get it. Okay, they just didn't quite fully grasp the whole meaning of what was being said when He said it. Because He told them all. He told them everything that was going to happen. So, have you ever been there? I mean, think of it. Have you ever been there? Of course you have. We all have, okay? How many times have we read a verse or two, and maybe you read it that 505th time, all of a sudden, boom, you see something totally different. You see something you've never seen before. Now, did the verse change? No. It's the same verse, but suddenly understanding came. And then we get all excited. And we want, it's like, because we're seeing this new understanding for the first time, even though we've read it how many times before, okay, we get excited about it. And then it's like, we just go, wow, why did I not see this before? Have you not ever done that before? Have you not ever said, oh my stars, I've never seen this before? No. And we get all excited. And what do you want to do? I mean, it's like you just want to go out and tell everybody. Even though, and then they might say, oh yeah, I saw that last week. Or yeah, I saw that last year. I'm going, oh, okay, cool, thanks. but you can be excited because He just showed you, okay? Now, here's the thing. It's not because the verse changed. It's because He opened your understanding, just like He did to the disciples back there in Luke, okay? He opened their understanding. Even though they've heard it, they heard Him say it over and over and over again. This one time, He opened their understanding. And that's the same principle. So every time we read the Scriptures, we should pray that He opens our understanding, especially for prophecy, anything and everything, not just prophecy. I'm talking when it comes to learning how to live right, to be the example for our children, those around us. Pray for Him to open our understanding. Now, so you're probably saying, Steve, what's the point of this off the cuff? The point is this. Micah 6:8. He has showed you, O man, what is good, And what does Yahweh require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. You say, Steve, yeah, I know you read that already. Here's my point. We need to walk humbly with Yahweh every day, because things regarding revelation can start completely different from what you may be thinking, okay? I mean, completely different from what we all may be thinking, and may even play out throughout the tribulation, throughout that time, from what we currently think. We have to be careful. We have to have a right attitude in listening to people as they proclaim things that they feel the Father has given them, because we know in the end times the very elect can be deceived. It's going to be different. It is not going to be what we think. So we need to allow ourselves to be challenged in these areas. We can't think we know it all. We thought we knew it all 30 years ago, folks. Okay, and we know we didn't. And now we can say, wow, was we way off? Yes, we may have grown, but could we still be way off? Maybe not on everything. We got some principles. We're now understanding the feast, how they applied to his first and his next coming. Okay, as far as when he returns to overthrow the Antichrist. Yes, I understand. I agree. We have learned a lot, but that doesn't mean we've known it all. You know, we may have just gone from first grade to sixth grade, and he's wanting to get us into college. Are you following what I'm saying? So the point being here is we need to be careful when we hear someone saying something that, hey, we need to consider something. So be careful in your attitudes. And remember, Hosea chapter 9, when it says, the prophet is considered a fool, the inspired man a maniac. Well, they thought that back then. Let's be cautious in today, as history might very well repeat itself. Let's not be so apt to call people a maniac or crazy, a fool, you name it, just because they say something that doesn't, jive with what we believe. You don't have to believe it, okay? Seriously. But at least put it on the back burner and say, let's remember this. Because you never know. They might be right. Things could start completely different from what we're thinking. And I don't want us to end up saying, didn't see that coming. So let's be cautious. Let's be careful. Don't let prophecy repeat itself with how they, considered the prophet a maniac, the inspired man a maniac, that is, and the prophet a fool. Folks, let's not fall. Let's not let us fall into that category of how history repeats. Please be prayerful about that, okay? Because we know history is cyclical, so don't allow yourself to fall into that same category. Allow yourself to fall into those who listened, okay? Yeah. So that's all I got. Think about it. Pray about it. But more than anything, be a doer of the word. Until next time, shalom.